have a lot of ground this evening, so you're going to hear some exciting things from distributors. And for the new people, I am going to introduce myself. I'm Nola. I'm Nola McDermott, and it's just such a pleasure to be able to chat to you guys. I think this is one of my favorite meetings because we talk to everybody, and I want to really get you to try and always connect with the Vision Connect meeting at least once a month. We have it once a month. And, for the very busy people and the people who are not really able to get onto Zoom much, then I really, really, really ask you to get onto this Connect meeting. So without further ado, let's just get on with this. And the big thing is I want to talk about you as the individual. And I'm going to say something that I ask you from here on with your business is to make yourself a priority. So often we don't think we are a priority in the business, but we actually are. And I'm going to tell you a few points why you are a priority. We have to intentionally work on our health and what we eat. Health is not accidental. We have to work on it. Then our growth. If we want to grow as people and become better at what we're doing, growth is not accidental. Growth is intentional. And we've got to put ourselves into a growth environment at all times. We've got to be very aware of who we spend time with while we're on our journey of growth. It's very important that we don't get pulled down on our journey of growth because it's a tough journey. We've got to grow as people. And so just be careful on who you spend time with. If you want a downline, we have to work on it. And it begins with a names list, which has to be added to weekly. That is not necessarily an easy thing for a lot of people. It wasn't for me, but now it's quite a game for me. And one feels quite good when you add names, because when you have to knock names off the list, you don't feel quite as bad. So it's really, really good that we add names. We make new friends. And so we've got to work on that all the time. It means working with the people you sponsor to help them get what they want as well. And that is how you build a downline. If you want success, we have to focus on something. I say something because I don't know what makes you excited, what success means to you. But you see, we've got to focus on that one thing that makes you happy, that you can target thoughts to. Because if we don't focus on what we want to have happen, we do focus on our problems, and that can be all consuming. And that is a recipe for failure. For 100% sure, it's a recipe for failure. And so I don't say you won't have problems. I don't say you don't have problems. I mean, everybody has their issues enough, but don't focus on them. If we focus on what's going to help us grow as people, help our business grow, help our downlines grow, half the problems will go away. And so successful people form habits that feed their success instead of habits that feed their failure. And you'll find that you'd never find a Richard Branson focusing on his problems. He must have huge problems when you float airlines and boats and rockets. But, he just focuses on what excites him, what he sees possible. And, we all know the amazing power of compound interest. Where you get interest on interest on interest. Okay, I want you to consider this. I want you to consider the power of compound effort. A little bit done every day, consistently, compounded, will give you a very successful business. And so really, understand that successful people who do whatever it takes to get the job done, whether or not they feel like it today or tomorrow. They understand this is not any one single push in the wheel or in the week or in the month. No, it's not just a single push. It's a cumulative total of all their unfailing consistency. And that is something, just think of compound effort. And then you start recruiting and you've got even more compound effort and you help them get their compound effort. And that's how you step up. And so basically, you've got to make yourself a priority. And the right choices that you make today, compounded over time, will take you to a higher and higher level of success that you want. And this real time effort is called your life. So you've got to know what you want, otherwise you just fit into everybody else's. And it is, I just want you to think, feed your success as opposed to feed your failure. So every thought that creeps into your mind, every action, just think, am I feeding my success or am I feeding my failure? Choose to have life working for you, not against you. And some days you think life is against you, but if you do the simple things, and this is the sticky point I find, is that our business not necessarily is easy, but it's very simple, and we try and complicate it. People just making choices that seem perhaps a little bit mundane and simple and almost seemingly insignificant. For instance, speak to one person a day. Follow up one or more customers a day. Send out a bit of product information to people who are interested. Add another name to your list. It's so easy not to do. And I mean, if I don't do one today, it's not going to make a difference. Yes, it does. It does make a difference over time. You can speak to one person a month or one person every day, and that's 30 or 20 or whatever days you work. And that makes a very big difference. And so over time, it's compounded. So every decision you make is important. What you're going to do, how you're going to act, what you're going to read, who you're going to chat to on the phone, what you're going to eat for lunch makes a difference. Who you associate with makes a difference. How you're going to treat your fellow workers. What are you getting done today? And so, I just want to say, make yourself a priority. And for building your business and finding what success button gets you excited. And so, I really want you to, and a lot of the people who I'm going to recognize have already done that. And it's really good to see. Let me get my recognition out here. And in fact, what we're going to do is do the lucky draw. Don't you think? We do the lucky draw first, shall we? So what we're going to do is you invite, you recruit one, you're in the draw. You qualify as a director or manager or senior manager. And for the new people, I've written it up here. If you look, and I really want to recognize generally all the new distributors. We love the new distributors. Your sponsors are so grateful that you've linked to them, and let your sponsor work with you. Don't become uncommunicative and get-outable. Just nobody's going to break your neck or break your arm. We just want to help you. So all I can say is stay involved. Even if you want to build a tiny business, stay involved. You don't have to do it alone. We want to do it together. And we've got a new program for the month, which I'll share with you. And we want to make you a happy customer at least. So stay involved. And new managers, we really, really do say hi to the new manager. I'm just looking for my recognition list here. It's here. I know it's here. There it is. step-ups. And new managers, what new managers have done, they've either done 250 personal PV, okay, or what they've done is, let me just move over, they have done 100 minimum personal PV over a total of 500 team. So that's the new managers, and I want to recognize the new managers. I think they're fantastic. And I'll just start from the top of the list here. We have got Raksha Soni, which is Raksha Soni, and then we have got a new manager, Janice Rayner. I hope some of these people are online, guys. And then we have Marilise Hornebrook, which is great. Gosh, her upline is in America. And Carol Simpson is a new manager, also in America. Well, she's here, but her upline is in America. And then we have a new manager of Utilia Ferreira, which is great. I would imagine she's up in Joburg. And then we've got Julia Margetts, who's in Cape Town. And then another a new manager is Laura Emmanuel and Cindy Boyd. And also in Holland, Van der BG, and that's in Ross's team. And then we've also got Sheena Ross as, no, she's not a new manager. James Mwangi is a new manager. So all those new managers, I just say, well done. So now, as a new manager, your next step, always know that you must qualify as a manager every month. I mean, work towards that. And then work towards becoming a senior manager. And to be a senior manager, you've got to do 100 personal PV minimum, obviously, over 1,000 team. So if you go and if you do 250 and you have 3 legs doing 250, just as an example, you're 1,000 points. And you are then on 10% here. You're on 5% there. And so you are starting to double your income. And that is exciting. That is where you're going. Because I always look at, as a distributor, you're buying at distributor price. Now, these bonuses are giving you 5% more off the distributor price, 10% more off the distributor price. So the products you're using, they're getting cheaper. And so that is always a good idea. So let's have a look at our senior managers. We have some Busisiwe Dladla is a senior manager. Well done, Busisiwe. Fushia Jamodian that's in Cape Town. She's a senior manager. We have here Joy Bischoff, a senior manager in Plettenberg Bay. And we have Sheena Roche as a senior manager and Zahara Osman as a senior manager. And a new qualified senior manager is Lou Lithgow. Just remember the name of Lou. I think she's going to be an example later on. So that is great. So now you're here, and that is the start of your journey or your counting journey to director. We get very excited about the executive managers because it's a new step that we're recognizing. And an executive manager would have to do obviously 100 personal PV over 2,000 team PV. So you can see 500, 1,000, 2,000. You're growing your business. We're going to get some really good growing your business tips just as soon as I'm done. And the Emerald, the executive manager isn't Peter Maritzburg, Margaret Clinton Parker. Margaret, if you're online, well done. Well done. Halfway to director. I'm very excited about that. I really, really am. And then I want to just make sure I've finished there. Yes, I have. And now the very exciting thing, I'm very excited. We have a new three Ruby director, and that is Barry and Pat Bland. And I know last Connect meeting I said he was a 3 Ruby, and he said, no, I'm 2. And I said, I know you're 2, but I always see you as a 3 or more. And so that's exciting. Barry, why don't you talk to us? Why don't you, it's really, Barry is amazing. And he and Pat have built an incredible business. And such a, you talk about doing their daily success habits and looking after their team, etc. Fantastic. And so what I want, Barry has unmuted himself, which is fantastic. Thank you, Barry. And what I want you to do is just say, hey, I know you've been part of this business for a while, quite a while. And, I'm just saying, you are a doctor, you were a practicing doctor, and what has this business done for you? Because there are a lot of new people on this call that actually don't know you. So over to you, Barry.
Thanks, Nella. Certainly, looking at the journey, it's been an amazing journey. And Pat and I always thank you and Rory for offering us that opportunity. It's made a massive difference to our lifestyle, our life path. And, early on, I think most people know that I was very skeptical about it, and skeptical about the business, skeptical about the products, particularly the nutrition. And it wasn't something that I could see myself doing. It was okay for Pat to do it. And she just did an amazing job those first years. And I think Neolife was able to provide at each step different things. And early on, we recently emigrated from Zimbabwe, so we were starting brand new again, and we were looking to buy a house and do all those basic things. And my salary as a specialist anaesthetist wasn't enough to be involved in any of that. And so, the basic needs of a house. And that was what drove Pat, particularly early on, was to pay a particular portion of the bond. And that was important, and it had to be done, and it had to be done every month. And, that was how it started. We've got 3 daughters, and we could see that their education would be an issue if something didn't change. And so as the business grew and it started to get all of the benefits that you were actually talking about earlier, that compound benefit of networking, it still boggles the mind for me. As an anaesthetist, I was able to use my hands and my brain for a specific period of time in the day. Might be 8 hours, might be 10 hours, might be 24, every now and then. But that was it. That was the maximum earning capacity. Whereas in networking, there's no limit. And I think that's, once I started to understand that better, I was better able to assist and of course the education of our kids. The other aspect of the benefits of the business was our health, my health particularly, early on with hepatitis, had a problem, and I was very unwell, and Pat insisted that I take what I needed to take, and I made a difference. And I believe that difference is still being made, because the healing of that hepatitis infection was complete, and I just don't have any issues on that score. But then, that's not the only benefits that you're getting from the business. That's the fun side of it as well. I mean, the places we've traveled to all over the world, as well as within the country. We have an amazing country. We really do. And I know that we kind of look over the fence and say, oh, I'd like to go there, and I'd like to go there. But we really do have amazing places right here. And, I think COVID has helped us recognize that. But the benefits of what we've had are continually being felt. And, being able to spend time with your kids, but also with your grandkids, that is, you can't put a value on that. And, the whole aspect of being able to help your kids, help your grandkids, in whatever way that happens to be. It might be financial, but often it is just support and being able to help there. And I think one of the things that I looked at early on was the fact that you can hand this legacy on. And that's incredible, really. My anesthetics is in my hands and in my head. I can't hand that on to anybody, but I can hand this business on, and I can build on it. I mean, the near life opportunity really does enable you to handle a lot of the challenges that come your way in life, in general life. And I think one of them is the mental training that we get, in that we need to remain positive, and there's always good stuff to be had, always. And we have an amazing company. We have an amazing marketing plan. We have a fantastic range of products. Use them. And, the 3 Ruby is a team effort, guys. Can't happen on your own. You cannot be a Sapphire director on your own. You need the recruiting to come through with that. And there are people doing that right now. And it's an amazing opportunity. I'm done.
That is so good. Okay, thank you, Barry. Thank you so much. I just, he talks about the fun times. Every time I open a photograph album, which I know is very old-fashioned, but we grew up old-fashioned and we still got the albums. Pat and Barry are all over the place because we've had so much fun with them around the world, It's just amazing. And remember, there is a trip coming to Prague. I know we've all been waiting for this trip for a couple of years. Well, it's on the cards for next year. I think it's May or April or May next year. So you just get your minds right. You have to be Sapphire director, but we want to start traveling again. We want to start having the fun again. And so I hope this, it's able to be had. But, just the fact that Barry had to go through a big mind shift to even think of nutrition, in the beginning. He's had to have a big mindset change right from the word go, from what he was doing to this business. But this compound effort, suddenly, imagine an anaesthetist who studied for probably a dozen years, I don't know, in all, but to now be told to just go and find a name, write a name down, just go and use some product, and it's so simple. But here he says, hey, it's the way to go, And the exciting thing, okay, are you listening carefully? On Thursday next week, today week, it's the 18th at 7:30, Barry's going to be doing the business presentation for the team. So, I think they can only benefit by hearing from him, how he believes in the product, how he believes in networking, and more importantly, is how he believes in near life and how he's seen it change uh, people's lives, including ours, including his. And so we worked together for 37 years because we'd been 10 years in the business when you came along. I think that's about right. So, it's been a long, long time, and you've done jolly well, and you've helped us all. Thank you, Barry. Okay, so now we're going to hear from Bonnie. There Bonnie is. Where are you? There Bonnie is. I did see her. There she is again. And Bonnie is one of Barry's downline. And, she sent me a message, said, I can't believe it's 3 Ruby. Well done, well done. And it is well done. Fantastic, Bonnie. So, Bonnie, I've asked her to just give us a few tips on working downline. She's had a lot of success over the number of months when she put her mind to getting her downline going. And there have been some ups and downs, and she's going to be talking about it. And we hand over to Bonnie. Thank you, Bonnie.
Nola, thank you. Barry, I'm absolutely over the moon that you're a 3 Ruby director. Well done. You should have told me sooner. It's the best news I've heard in a long time. Just so happy. Okay, so I'm talking about working with my downline. I think some of you know we've just come back from the leadership school, which was in October. And yet again, I realized what an incredible company we have, the integrity, the principles, the philosophies. And I came back actually in awe of Near Life and what they stand for. And I feel even more loyal to the company and the staff and the executives and, the people than ever before. And the big takeaway that I got is we need to really work with our downline, and we need to really help them to make money. We often say that by the time we come to retire at the age of 65, 98% of the population can't afford to retire. Today, I've started saying 98% of the population actually can't even afford to live. And I say that because this week I've spoken to a few women who are very well spoken. They probably had a wonderful life, but at the age of 70 odd, they're running out of money. And a lady I spoke to yesterday, she said it's the 10th of the month and I've got 75 Rand to last me for the rest of the month. She said, I have to sell my home, I have to sell my car, but where am I going to go? And that really, really hit home to me because so many people are in that situation. So when people join, I like to say to them, what is your reason? Why have you joined? And nearly always the reason is because they want to make more money. So I say, okay, I can help you make more money. And this is my suggestion for you. And we hear this over and over again, but it's so dead simple, but this is exactly what it is. Use the product. So I like to encourage people, and I know not everyone can afford to do this, but I've had 2 people who are in my downline who were just not making any money. And I came back, and in 1 week, the one lady who is Lou, she did 1,000 points and her bonus was 1,600 odd. And she sold something to buy in her 250 points, but I like people to buy in the 250 points because, how do you sell a Super 10 if you don't have it? You need to order it. It makes it very difficult. It's a lot easier if they can buy the 250 points and have some stock. Now, what do we do if we haven't got money and most people haven't got the 4,500 Rand? What about decluttering? What about trying to sell something that isn't actually benefiting you at all, just to get that money to have some stock so that you can sell that? So I suggest, using the product and sharing the product. So how do they share the product? They've bought their Pro Vitality. They normally join with the Pro Vitality. And I suggest that they sell 6 Pro Vitalities to 6 other people. So they actually buy 7 Pro Vitalities. They use 1 and they sell 6. And that'll do the 250 points, and their commission will be 1,000 Rand. Now, how do they sell the 200? How do they sell the Pro Vitality? I like this book a lot. And if you just open it and you turn to, well, first of all, you turn to page 5. It explains all about the Scientific Advisory Board. And that's a very good way for them to start talking about our company and the science behind it. And then you look at the Pro Vitality, and it explains everything. And it's all there. You can talk your way through this with your potential customer. You can show how the carotenoid builds up our immune system by 37% in 20 days. You can talk about the N and how it enhances absorption. You can talk about the omega-3, and you can talk about the multi. And what I do with them is I send them a voice note with a suggestion of how to go about prospecting, how to go about finding the person who they can sell the Pro Vitality to. But the first thing is to discover the person's needs. What are their needs? And once you know that, then and really the Pro Vitality covers absolutely everything. So I ask them what their reasons are for joining. And then we look at their goals. What are your short-term, your medium-term, and your long-term goals? And I try and always refer back to their goals, because they're going to meet and they're going to have challenges along the way. And I like to say, just remember, why you joined. Remember what your goals are. And that somehow helps us to overcome our challenges. So my big thing that I encourage people to do is to use the product, to share the product, but so importantly, to look at self-development, just to keep on believing that you can do it, because everything else is perfectly in place. The only differential is what we're telling ourselves between our ears. So we absolutely need to get our minds right and absolutely believe that we can do this. So there they are, and they have used and they've bought in their 250 points that they're going to sell. Then we hold coffee shop mornings twice a month, and I encourage people to bring 3 guests to each of those meetings. So that's looking at 6 new people in the month. And if I look at Lou, that's exactly what she did. She bought in the product, she's selling the product, and she introduced 3 new people. And what did those 3 people do? They went out and did 250 points each. So that made her a qualified senior manager, doing 1,000 points, earning a wonderful bonus from nothing to 1,000 points. For a couple of months, she did not even 1 point. And suddenly in the last week of the month, after I came back from leadership school and, we put this whole thing in place, Lou did her 1,000 points, and her upline, Margaret, did 2,000 points. And Margaret had been sitting on, close to 1,000 points, sometimes 1,000 points for a very long time. So it's just amazing, how that really worked. So what we do now this month is we encourage those 3 people to sell their 250 points, and for them each to introduce 3 people. And in your 3rd or 4th month, that equates to 4,000 points, which means your bonus is between 8 and 10,000 Rand. In your 4th or 5th month, it grows to 10,000 points, which means your bonus would probably be over 20,000 Rand. And that is such a simple system. It's such a simple way. It's just, and you don't have to, ideally it's great if you do, But you don't have to keep on finding those 6 customers. You just keep on reservicing, because remember, those products run out. So each month they're going to order another Pro Vitality pack. But the idea too is to bring them to the coffee morning so they can extend their product use. They could start using the cleaning products. They could start using the home care products. So, you know, you're going to grow a whopping business in that very simple way. You know, one very big thing and one huge challenge that gets in people's way is excuses. And the kind of thing that happens, and you know, always remember this, excuses are the one thing and the biggest thing that are going to keep you from being extremely successful in this business. You see, when Auntie Jemima comes to town and she comes to stay with you, you have an option. You either phone your upline and you say, I'm sorry, I absolutely can't do this month. I can't attend the meetings. I can't do this, that, and the next thing, because Auntie Jemima's come to town and I need to look after Auntie Jemima. You do that, or you say to Auntie Jemima, you know what, I've started a part-time business, not a spare time, because I don't have any spare time. Nobody has spare time. It's essentially a part-time business. I need to make money. So Auntie Jemima, this is what I need to do. I'm going to a coffee shop morning, or I have a Zoom call this evening. Please excuse me, but it is my part-time job. And for me to be successful, that's what I need to do. So my plea to all of you is to go out there and empower people to make money. Just think of that, the aching world, the aching people, the people like the lady I spoke to yesterday who has 75 Rand to last her for the rest of the month. People need our opportunity, and I actually am believing now they need our opportunity before they need our products, because people like her is desperate for our products, but you can't afford it. And I said to her, my heart aches for you. I'm so sorry for you. But what is going to happen is that you're going to end up with huge health challenges. And that's going to be a lot more expensive than just buying a Pro Vitality pack. So we need to empower people to make money, to have enough money so they can take care of themselves. Thank you. That's me.
Bonnie, well done. Really, I love that. And Bonnie, you know what? You're doing such a good job. And, you know, she has a gentle way, but she has tough love. You know, if you say you're going to make money and you're not taking action, and let's be honest, we all fall into that trap from time to time. Let your sponsor help you out of that ditch. You know, just be prepared to let your sponsor help you. And it's wonderful. Bonnie, I really appreciate that and all those tips. And now we have got Antoinette coming on. She's going to just talk to us about something she really believes in. And let me get her on the screen here. Thank you, Antoinette, for being part of this. There you are.
Good evening, everybody. Last month, we had a senior manager seminar with Rico Brown, and I was privileged to listen to it with my senior managers. It was outstanding, and I just want to share a couple of points from that evening with you. If you can take 2 or 3 points with you tonight, it will make a difference to your business. The first that he shared was there's 3 basic principles to this business. Number 1, when you speak to somebody, offer them the opportunity first. If they say no, make sure they take the products. This opportunity is something they embark on for a couple of Rand, and the outcome could be more than 100,000 Rand a month. So offer the opportunity first. The second point is success takes time. Your level of commitment will determine how much time The third point is keep it simple. Simple to explain, easy to do, and easy to succeed with. Then he also mentioned the 3 tasks that we've got when we build this business. Number 1 is to learn. You have to learn what to say. You have to learn the basic products, and you need to learn how the business works. Then you need to explain. In explaining to your customer, your prospect, the first thing is to tell your story. And then to explain the product, explain cellular health. And then explain that you can earn money. The third point, the third task would be to develop the following things. He said that you develop habits, you develop focus, and you develop commitment. And in that, he also said, but there's things that you have to eliminate. And here are things that he mentioned. Eliminate fear. Eliminate negative people. Eliminate excuses. Eliminate procrastination. And eliminate indecision. Decide to be successful and do what it takes. Thank you, Lola. Thank you, everybody. Go out there and make it happen.
Antoinette, thank you. And I'm pleased you reminded us about that seminar, because it was one of the best seminars I've ever heard him do. And you know what? There's another one coming up in February, on this middle of February 16th. We're going to remind you, but you have to remind yourself that to be invited as a qualified senior manager, you have got November, December, and January. Please write that down. November, December, and January. So what you're doing is you are now working downline and getting people excited about that. November, December, and January. Now, in those 3 months, you have to be qualified in title. So that's 1,000 points in your team for 2 of those 3 months. November, December, January. And then you have to at least bring in 1 personal new distributor in 3 months. I mean, that's minimum, okay? And then in those 3 months, you have to have, with all your team, have 10 new distributors. So if you've brought in 1, you need 9. Work downline, do coffee shops, get them motivated, because your downline will then be building a business. And your job is to help them do the 9, because you've got the 1. And so that's November, December, January. Now, you know, I want to say that one day, one president's team meeting we had, we said, somebody had the gall to say, December's a bad month for business. And we all looked at each other, and in that room, there were about 4 or 5 president's team members who'd all joined in December. You get serious people. It doesn't matter whether it's Christmas, winter, snowing, whatever, they move forward. You know, and that's what we're looking for. There'll be people who won't, but then they're just tickling. You look for business builders, and by the time December comes and people have said, wow, I've had a bad year, I'm in trouble, they will do anything. And what Bonnie was saying about this lady who has 75 Rand for the rest of the month, we've got to tell the young people that they don't want to ever be there. So focus on the youth to get them building something that, you know, we started in our 20s because we wanted to basically be in a position to retire at 40. Well, come 40, we were having far too much fun. Come 70, we're still having too much fun. But the thing is, be in a position to make the choices you want. So there's another qualified senior manager school, 16th of February, work downline, please, guys. November, December, January.
Qualifies it for Rico's.
Yeah. And that qualifies you for Rico's next senior manager seminar. Really, really, really worthwhile. Okay, so let's do the draw. This lovely draw of the VisionLife contest. The VisionLife contest. So everybody who gets one in gets a ticket. You stay qualified in your status. You get a ticket. You take a step up. You get 2 tickets. And so we've got the tickets here, and we're going to draw. So we're going to draw 1,500 Rand. We do 1,000 first, and then we do 500 second. Okay, and that money tomorrow will be put into your Near Life wallet or account, so you can go and spend it on products. Just helps you use a little bit more, I think. Okay, so now this is here. Let me move up.
Okay, hello
There
everyone.
we are.
Hi. What a school this has been. Gee, those training sessions were unbelievable. But anyway,
Weren't they
I've got
just
all
fantastic?
the numbers in the drawer here, and I'm going to draw one right from the bottom and hand it on to my good wife.
Really spent her day folding these.
Bless her.
Elsje East Tower. Who does she belong to? Elsa, can you see that? Elsje East Tower.
No, she's in Lynn Banks's team.
And thanks.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, there you are.
Woo!
Oh, Lynn,
Lynn,
fantastic.
well done. 1,000 Rand for Elsje.
Okay.
And then 500 Rand for Kristen Foslu.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Bonnie,
It's in Effie's team. Kristen. Wonderful.
You can't go wrong, can you? That is fantastic. Wonderful. I'm just so happy. A little bit of product goes out. And then now, at the end of this month, end of November, we give away 2,000 cash to 4 lucky distributors. So we'll give 2, 2, 2, 2. So last month's, this month's, and November's will all go into the bucket, and we'll give. So you all go in again, and there'll be 4 2,000 Rands put into their given away, and then every new manager, every new senior manager, and every new executive manager, and any step up director, any step up in September, October, November, they're going to draw for 2,000 cash. So, you'll get a ticket for every step you take. So if you go manager, you could win. You go senior manager, you could win again, but you'll get a ticket for everything. And the top recruiter in September, October, November, the top recruiter over 3 months will win 2,000 Rand. So by the end of this contest, 15,000 Rand would have been given away to people winning. So now, the top recruiter, what if there's a tie, which there could well be a tie, but just go out crazily this month and recruit. The top recruiter, we will, if there's a tie, we'll just see the results of your recruiting, whether they become manager, senior manager, whatever activity they have progressed to. Okay, so that's fair enough. Let me have a look at this. That is great. I have finished this, and I'm finished with, you're finished with me, okay? You're done with me. And so now, very exciting. Andre's coming, Dr. Andre Comrie. She is coming on to tell us about magnesium. I think magnesium is an incredible product. And I just said, wow, we need to know more about it. We need to become confident about that. So where is Andre? Dr. Andre, you're here somewhere. There you are.
I'm here, yes, I'm here. Hi.
Coming to chat to us. Appreciate it. And every speaker, I'm just so thankful to all of you. You've done such a wonderful job. Well done. I feel very privileged to have you as business partners and friends. Thank you. Andre, over to you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'll be as quick as I can. I'm sure you're getting a bit antsy in your pansies by now. But let's take a look at magnesium. We all know about vitamins and minerals, and there are lots of minerals that are absolutely essential for our good health. But there are 3 that are known as macro minerals, meaning that they are required in quite high quantities. And the others are micro minerals, meaning that they're not unimportant, but they're not required in such high quantities. And so the 3 macro minerals are calcium, zinc, and magnesium. So let's take a look at magnesium. Presumably, if we need a lot of it, it's important. I mean, that seems to be a logical conclusion to draw. And yes, indeed, magnesium is super important. It's important for the functioning and well-being of anything associated with your brain. So whether you can think clearly, whether your memory is up to scratch, you need magnesium. If you are suffering from mood and anxiety and depression and general feelings of not being up to par, it is an indication that your brain is short of magnesium. So it's your brain needs it, and then so do your bones and your teeth. So your structural components need it. And we all obviously need to have good, strong skeletons. We don't want to be heading for osteoporosis and those sorts of things. Calcium is super important for that, but so is magnesium. And then it's important for muscle function. And so some of the symptoms that you might get if you aren't getting enough is that you might have numbness, you might have fatigue in your muscles, you might have tingling, you might have cramping. In fact, cramp is one of the first indicators that you aren't getting enough magnesium. And we must remember that whenever we talk about muscle, that our heart is a muscle. And so our heart also needs just as much magnesium as any other muscles, if not more so, because it's constantly working for us. And so if we don't have enough magnesium, we're in danger of heart-related ailments. Then it's extremely important for our immunity. And over the last 2 years, the power of our immunity has been brought into sharp focus. It was always important, and it will continue to be important into the future, but we were made more aware of it because of you know what. And then the other thing that it is super important for, magnesium I'm talking about, is for energy production. And you can understand just how important that aspect is, because everything else I've spoken about requires a lot of energy to keep going. And so if we aren't able to generate our energy adequately, then we're in really big trouble. Now, why would we be short of magnesium? Well, there are several reasons. One of them is that if you look at the foods that are high in magnesium, they aren't the foods that most of us eat in great quantities. For example, legumes, whole grains, nuts, dark leafy green veggies like Swiss chard, kale, collard greens. Have you ever eaten collard greens? Don't know that I have. And so there is magnesium in the food that we eat, but it's not really the food that is commonplace on our plates. But to compound that problem is the fact that we have heard over and over again that the nutritional value of foods is compromised because of the minerals lacking in the soil. And so even when we do get fresh veggies that are rich in those particular minerals, they aren't as rich as they used to be because they can only get those ingredients, if you like, from the soil. And then the magnesium is notoriously difficult to get from your food. And the numbers say that about only 30 to 40% of magnesium that is actually present in food is obtainable through our digestion. It's not a very efficient system. So the chances of not getting enough are pretty high. And I think that is demonstrated in the fact that many people complain of cramps, they complain of fatigue, both mental and physical. They complain of not firing on all cylinders in the mental department. They complain about being short of energy, and it's a common complaint. So it is one of the supplements that we really can give to people who are having those particular problems. Now, we obviously take great pride in our particular magnesium. There are lots of magnesiums out there, and a lot of people are in fact taking magnesium. And just as an aside, if you talk to someone and ask them if they're taking magnesium, and they are, you can possibly suggest to them that they just for 1 month give yours a try instead. And the odds are pretty darn high that they will notice a positive difference, even although they have already been supplementing with some other magnesium. But one of the things that our company does is to make sure that whatever it supplies us with is absorbed by the body. And that is super important. I've told you we don't get a great deal from our food because we aren't able to absorb it. So we need a supplement where great attention is given to the fact that this mineral is going to be absorbed. And they've gone to great lengths to do that. As I've said, they've got 3 different techniques that they have used to produce magnesium that is absorbable. One is the chelation process, which tricks the body into taking the mineral on board. The other is with magnesium oxide, which is a very high concentration of magnesium, weight for weight. And the third is magnesium citrate, which is very highly water soluble, and we are able to get maximum absorption from that. So it maximizes what we get from our consumption of the supplement. What I would like to suggest, I've already said it, is that we try and get people to try ours even if they've tried something else. And by all means, they can go back to what they were using if they find no improvement. But the odds are extremely high that they will notice a difference. And I just want to tell you a little bit of the beginnings of a testimonial, which oh gosh, I've been dumped. Oh, am I still there? Oh, sorry, I disappeared. Sorry, a little bit of a testimonial. It's a testimonial in the making, but I have a downline who has been talking to her doctor, and her doctor said that he was looking for a new magnesium because he was suffering from cramps at night, and he had tried half a dozen products and had really had no success. And so she offered him ours to try, and he said he would certainly do that because he was really in trouble. And she provided him with some of our magnesium. 2 days later, she did the right thing and the brave thing. Just remember this, not all of us get it right. And that is that she went back to him and she asked him if he had used it and if he was finding any improvement. And he said he's only taken it for 2 nights, and on both of those nights he had had no cramps, and that he was cautiously optimistic. Now, for a doctor to say that, that's quite a big accolade, isn't it, Barry? And we're hoping that we've got a new user, and imagine if he became a new distributor of our products because he himself has experienced the benefits. So go out and listen for people complaining about cramps and so on, offer them a solution. You are pretty certain to get a positive result for them. And then, of course, out of that, you've got a customer for life because it has to be taken for life. if cramp is your issue. And maybe you've got one of the best distributors that you have ever had. So it's close to China time. Thanks for your patience. And it's been a great meeting. Thanks for all the input from everybody. Lots to take home and work with and do. And may we all be one step higher next month than we are this month.
Andre, thank you so much. That was wonderful. And I think we all need magnesium for the brain, if nothing else. Okay, so well done. Thank you so much, Andre. That was great. And while Rory's coming along, I just want to mention that today week is the 18th, and Barry, as I said, is going to be doing a business presentation. So make sure you get all your guests there. That's next Thursday. But next Monday, the company is doing a Team Near Life app presentation training. And the following Monday, I'm just reminding you, they have a product talk, and it's going to be specifically on men's health because it's Men's Health Month. So that's Monday the 22nd. So this Monday is, this coming Monday is a TNL app. Thursday, Barry, opportunity meeting, bring your guests. Next Monday is men's health. So we've got a nice lineup for everybody. And then this Saturday in the centers, but I know the Durban program at 2:00. There is a business presentation, but it's going to have core nutrition. It's going to have vegan, D, magnesium, botanical explained. Is going to be a business presentation. So it's a very, very good meeting to introduce people to the business, and also for new people, all your new people that you got in the last nearly 2 years who haven't been able to see anything or go anywhere or get involved with us. We're having a 50% full room and all the protocols and everything, but it's time we got going again. So it's a wonderful meeting. We'll see you there for those people who can get there. Thanks, Raw. Okay, thanks everyone. I appreciate you all so much. Thanks for being part of this.
Hello all, and thanks Noel for doing a fabulous school, and to speakers. Gee, you know, I just listened to the content of what we have heard tonight, and it's just so informative, and you can only build a big business on that basis. I just want to just wrap up very quickly here and just give you, you know, every month we look at the performance of the Emerald Directors and the World Team members, and I'm just going to give you the top 10 Emerald Directors and their PV at this stage. Number 10 was Lolita on 4,406 points in Monica's team. Number 9 was Dawn Botha, 4,675 points in Barry's team. Number 8 was Dawn Chapman, 5,003, Barry's team. Number 7, Hilary Mkweba up in Kenya on 5,341. Well done, Hilary. Excellent job. Number 6 was Zelda Root on 5,744. Number 5 was Bonnie Lindsay on 6,269. Well done, Bon. Number 4 was Rajan Kupan on 7,443. Number 3 was Martin Hemis in America on 8,228. Number 2, Monica and Rob Ross, 8,415. And number 1 Emerald Director for the month of October was Viv Body and Patrick Body on 8,862. And they were also the highest earning Emerald Director with an exceptional income there at that level. So congratulations to all of you for being in the top 10. And I'd really strive during the month of November to do your best and get into the top 10 and start getting that PV up there, because the higher the PV, the greater the income. Let's look at the World Team. Now, World Team starts at what we call Sapphire Directors, then 1, 2, 3 Ruby, and well done, Barry, on moving up from 2 to 3 Ruby. That's an exceptional job, and we're just so very thrilled and proud of you for that. So it's the top 7 in this instance on the World Team. Number 7 on 13,223 points is Andrea Murray Comrie. Well done to you. Number 6, Dina Munsami on 16,607. Number 5, Jen Bajent, also in the USA, of 19,283 points. Number 4 was Val Fleet and Linda Adicott, 22,228 points. Number 3 was Antoinette Zeely on 28,557 points. Well done, Ant. Number 2, Linda Banks on 31,342 points. Well done, Linny. That's fantastic. Well done. And number 1, Dr. Barry Bland and Pat Bland on a fantastic month of 61,810 points in their team. That is an exceptional month. So congratulations to you all for a job well done. And, just keep up the good work. Just a summary, you've had so much good input tonight. So I'm just thinking about, there are basically 3 pillars that you have to work on, that this business is built on. The first one is the pillar of recruiting or sponsoring new people. Essential, essential, essential. That recruiting allows you to duplicate time and allows you to build a big business followed by a big income. If you're not recruiting, you're still working hard, you're not working smart. You will never make a success out of this business if you're not recruiting. So it is a critical element or pillar to work on. Number 2 is qualifying in your status, whatever level you are at, whether you're a manager or senior manager or director or Sapphire director or Ruby director. You've got to plan every month to qualify in your status, because this brings with it consistency and consistency of income and consistency of results. And by qualifying in status, you're actually setting a great example for people to follow. Remember, people will follow the example you actually set. So that's the second pillar. The first one was recruiting. The second pillar was to make sure that you are qualifying in status. The third pillar is to make sure that you're taking your next step. It's amazing to find, if I asked you a question, what's your next step and when you're going to take it? A lot of people say, but if you have a clear picture in your mind as to what your next step is and a plan of action, how this next step is actually going to take place, blow me down, you're going to take that step. But if you haven't got that clearly defined in your mind, that step will never happen. So the third step there of knowing your next step, and not only your step, every member of your organization has a step to take. And you must have a plan in mind, sit down with them at the beginning of each month and discuss their next step, discuss their goals, discuss the potential within their business, and make sure that happens. So those are the 3 pillars that you actually build your business on. Just in closing, remember that you need to expose yourself daily to whatever you want to become. If you want to become a success in this business, expose yourself to every aspect of this business, those 3 pillars, the training, the people, the leadership, the mentoring, okay? Expose yourself to that and practice it until it becomes second nature and you take that step. People who are disciplined, practice being disciplined. People who are lazy have been practicing being lazy. So what have you been practicing? I hope you've been practicing discipline, because it's our daily activity that determines the end result. It's not, so often people sort of leave things to the last minute. It's your daily routine, your daily activity that's going to determine the success or failure of your business. So remember that I am not your boss. Barry is not your boss. You are the managing director of your own business. Barry and your upline leader, we are merely there to assist and guide you as much as we can, but the responsibility rests on your shoulders. The size of business you're planning to build is entirely in your hands. So, that gives you a little bit of an outline. We are into the month of November. Let's make November the best month you've ever had. What are your plans? What are the actions you're going to take? And just apply what Bonnie's told you, what Andre Comrie's told you, what Barry's told you, what Nola's told you, and you'll find that you're going to have a great success in this business. So from all of us, good night, God bless, lots of love to you, and a great, great November. And see you on Saturday at the Durban Warehouse at 2:00.